Okay, today we're going to be talking about some of the newer technologies. Ta-da! This is actually called cold cathode. You can see it's got the candelabra base, which is the smaller screw base. The larger screw base that you're used to on normal lights is is called a standard or regular base, and then there's our bigger bases, and those are called mogul base. And that's usually for the HIDs, like the big metal halides, the big high-pressure sodiums. They have a even larger screw base. But this is a candelabra base. These ones that we use actually come with a screw-on regular base. So we could actually screw on a regular base if this needed to be screwed into a regular size socket. So they're kind of interchangeable. You can just screw those on and then screw them into another one. Notice the swirlies on it. It's a lot like a compact fluorescent. Basically is the same as a compact fluorescent, but it has the small swirly portion. Cold cathode is basically a compact fluorescent in a different form. The cold cathode is just a little bit different technology for lighting it up, for firing it up. Cold cathode, we can go as high as 8 watts currently on our current programs. So there's some limitation on this. If you're trying to replace a 100-watt incandescent light, we can only go up to 8 watts. We may be short on the amount of light output. It may not work. We've also had pretty good luck. Sometimes we can replace. You have to just see, and again, it comes down to the customer, what they're looking for and the amount of light output. But these are good, obviously, for replacing candelabra lights. They can also come frosted, so they look like this. This is the ballast. This white portion here is the ballast. Some customers don't like that. They don't like this to be seen. They might have a little socket that looks like this in a chandelier, and they just don't like this, and that's that's fine. That's something you have to talk to your customer about. But again, this is cold cathode. They are dimmable. Let's talk a little bit about dimmability. Dimming technologies. LEDs are now dimmable. We also have cold cathode, and we have dimmable compact fluorescent. This is a dimmer. You can see it's a switch, on-off switch, and it also has the dimmer. One of the problems is the old dimmers. Most of the dimmers that are in facilities currently are old, and they're actually not well set up to handle the new technologies. They don't work well with compact fluorescent. Like the tendency will be for the compact fluorescents to get burnt out. People will dim them down, and it burns the lamps out. Even the dimmable compact fluorescent. Same thing with LED. The LEDs, a lot of the LEDs are not functioning. The dimmable ones are not functioning well with the old dimmer switches. This is actually a newer technology that's designed for this particular one. But you just have to be careful when you're selling dimmable technology. In the next couple of years, dimming is going to be very important. The Public Utility Commission is interested in dimming. They want to start doing some of the daylighting and dimming, being able to dim areas that are near the windows, for instance, where there's a lot of natural light there. If they can dim those fluorescents, they're going to want to start doing that. But as of now, the technology is not very good. We've had a lot of troubles in the tests that we've been doing, and so we're careful about dimming, and we're pretty much avoiding it right now. Now, that brings me to switches. This is an infrared switch. This is a wall box or sensor. It's called a sensor, but it's a motion sensor. Okay, and this switch, this motion sensor, would replace your regular light switch. It has an on and off switch, so it can be used as a regular switch also, but it can be turned on so that this, when someone comes into the room, it lights up. It also can be set to a number of minutes. Let's say even anywhere from 30 seconds. So when someone leaves, there's no motion. Within 30 seconds, it shuts the lights off. Or it can wait as long as 20 minutes. Where people leave, there's no motion. It has to wait 20 minutes before it comes back on. Sometimes we like to set them at 20 minutes because of the fluorescent technology. If you turn fluorescent on and off too many times, it actually will kill the lamps. The lamps lose some of their life. But these are great technologies. This would be in small offices. If you have an office building that has 50 small offices, you would be putting 50 of these, one for each one of the regular light switches. This won't work. This particular one won't work well for a large bullpen area because obviously there may be motion that it's not detecting that's too far away. Okay, so this is good for the smaller offices. We also have integrated sensors that go onto each one of the fixtures. That's typical on the high bay technology. When you're looking at a high bay fixture like this one, where we'd actually put an integrated sensor on each one of the fixtures. So the lights will go off, in the areas where no one's moving. When the forklift comes in, or if someone walks down that aisle, it pops that light on, but they don't need the light, at that time. Those are called integrated sensors or high bay sensors. Okay, as opposed to wall box sensor, which is this one. Any one of your deals, if they have offices, you'll want to write sensors onto them, motion sensors onto them, and you can sort of guesstimate how many that are going to be usable, and then later when we go in to do the final inspection before we do the work, we're going to figure out exactly how many and where they're going to be located and all of that. Okay, and then here's another LED. Just wanted to point this one out. You can see the fins. These are they're called heat sinks. It's quite elaborate, but it's designed to bleed the heat off of this so that the lights stay cool enough so they don't break down. But that's with the new LED technology. They have a lot of heat issues, and they have to have this type of a heat sink to, it's like a radiator that, lets the heat dissipate off of it. Okay, best of luck in your lighting sales.